Okay, it is 5 o'clock on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. I'll call this regular town board meeting of the town of LaPointe to order. I'll do a roll call. Mike Anderson.
Here via Glenn's phone.
Amy Baxter.
Here.
Sue Brenna.
Here.
Samantha Dobson. Absent. Glenn Carlson here. We also have our town clerk, our town administrator, our public works director, our MRF supervisor, interim supervisor, and members of the public. Is there any public comment?
I'll have a public comment. I'll just congratulate all the incumbents on the town board for the election, and Alex and Katie for joining in when she becomes treasurer.
Okay, any other public comment? Charlie?
Thanks, Glenn. I've seen the MRF report that they're thinking of buying a new hook truck to replace the yellow truck. I'm fine with that. If nothing else, at least the dump can, I suppose, raise rates in order to help offset the cost of a new truck, if that's the case. But I hope whatever vehicle they purchase, it's able to be worked on by the town mechanic instead of having an off-island technician come over and change oil at $150 an hour like the fire department has. Just something to take into account if it comes to that point in time. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul?
Let's thank John Carlson for the courage to run the town board. Try it again next year.
Indeed, I agree. Any other public comment? I'd also like to congratulate the people who worked on and supported the school referendum. I think everybody's aware that the town of LaPointe put the thing over the winning number. And on another note, acknowledge that Charlie Meach passed away last week. And so we extend our condolences to his family and the employees of MISA. Any other public comment? Okay, moving on. Town administrators, we've got administrative reports, town administrators report. Questions or comments? Okay. Go ahead.
He's not here tonight. I think I'm new. In the zoning report, the revenue permits for land use permits through March this year, $185. Last year, they were $2,700. I don't know. Been around, I don't know what that means, but it seems like a significant difference. And I don't know what the ramifications could be for everybody that's working in construction. We don't have very much going on, coming the year. So anyway, I just wanted to look at that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments on?
A question for Max.
Go ahead, Mike.
Max, on number 3 on your report, you have department head meeting April 10th. Is that an annual thing you do, or?
The department head meeting on the 10th?
No, we're going to do that at least once a quarter. This will be our second. But
So once a quarter.
At least once a quarter.
Right.
Okay, got it.
And each department will have their budget where they're at in terms of status through the first quarter, so to be able to see that discussion.
Sure.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on Max's report? Okay, moving on, Public Works Director report. I didn't see one. Moving on, MRF Supervisor's report. Any questions or comments for Evan? I have to say, Evan, this is like a model report. I mean, everyone should take a look at it and be like, okay, can I make a report that's this full of information? It's really quite something.
Rather have too much to do.
And trying to digest it all is going to be a challenge. Any questions or comments for Evan?
Thanks for fixing the truck on your day.
Oh, that was fine. Just another day with Michael.
Okay, airport managers report. Planning and zoning administrators report. Accounting managers report. Police chief's report.
What? But
Yes.
can they get the secure code from Ashland? Why can't you have the code?
They're going back and forth. There's three, most of the deputies over there, it's not a problem, but the three of them are using this. Everything, and that means. And the problem is email back and forth with, not the sheriff, the assistant. So the guy wanted to know who are the officers, who are the deputies over there that are doing this,
Okay,
doing this thing.
Okay, any other questions on the police chief's report? Fire chief's report?
can they, wear the Gumby suits on the watercraft?
See what I couldn't, but I don't really don't need to.
They go out in the middle of winter?
That's gonna be going on.
No, it won't be able to, okay.
Although I did hear that they were planning to test it out, and so I think maybe they were gonna wear the Gumby suits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, ambulance director's report.
I just want to say, I do have Pete's report. I just found it in my email.
Okay.
I must have missed that from Thursday. I was CC'd, so I must have just missed that part of it.
Okay, well, if you could
So,
get
for
that
next
to us.
time.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'd be great. Thank you. And it is really nice to see everyone, all the departments are seemingly looking into being more efficient and effective with our resources. So appreciate that. Is there unanimous consent to place these reports on file?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, Road, Stock and Harbor, we have a purchase order for grader carbide bits for $1,519.90.
Make a
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll make a motion to approve the greater carbide bits for $1,515.90 with discussion.
Okay.
And Pete's there. How often do you have to change those blades, Pete?
Well, the bits last about 5 times longer than the mild steel blades that we used to use. So
So,
every 3 months.
so these things that you're buying, like how often do you have to replace those?
About every 3 months.
Every 3 months, Mike.
Got it.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a Parks #2 position to approve. And I believe that's in Max's report.
Make a motion to approve hiring Thomas Siddle for Parks #2 at $20 an hour, not to exceed $600.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. The next is really informational, but Paul Wilhelm did send this to the town board, and our very own Major Gilbert Field Airport was the airport of the month featured in the Minnesota Flyer.
It was nice to get recognized.
Yes, it is.
He's not here. I wanted it as an agenda item because I wanted to ask him a question about it. And maybe you could ask him for me next. I want to know who wants us to try to get on record with the FAA or the state as a airport. Because it said in the article that we're not on record as being an airport. And maybe that could help us get funding or pilots with something. Something we should try.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
Mhm.
Moving on, we don't have anything under the committees. although we are going to be talking about committees on the next section. Administration, discussion of town park canoe kayak rack rental ordinance. Max?
Yeah, I don't know, included in here, actually, I from. Maybe years, and she thought that was not very, you know, inclusive in terms of different people being have access to those racks. One of the ideas they take around is that the rack rent is so cheap that probably there's some people that just have a right to check out for another summer and not have to deal with getting the canoe off of there. So one idea, and we wouldn't do it this year because it's too late. We just raised the rent, go from 25 to 50 or even 100, and offer people town assistance if all they want to do is, you know, maybe they're elderly and they can't get the canoe off anymore, that we would help them with, at least get it up onto the upper level and then they could deal with it. So I don't know that that's the answer, but we might get a lot of people say, yeah, okay, I'm not interested in, I'll just, if you lift up the kayak or canoe for me, we'll be, you know, and we open it up for some people. That's probably the simplest way to go. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, no, the only concern I would have would be that if somebody, let's say for health reasons, they bought the permit for 1 year, but they couldn't use it because of health reasons or whatever. So if you took them off the list, if you took them off the, you know, like the lottery or something, they weren't going to use the kayak or the canoe. How long would it take before they could get back on? It says that there's a long list of people waiting. So that'd be my concern.
It's right now, it's really long. Dorjeen she said she waited 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The very first person on the list has been waiting since 2019.
Yeah, I think, you know, bringing it to people's attention, and I think, you know, increasing the rate, it's a modest, I mean, it's a doubling of the rate, but it's still pretty modest. You know, we'll hopefully, with the offer to, you know, provide some assistance if they need it. We'll, you know, I think those are all good things. Does anybody have an objection to pursuing that?
No, I think it's a great idea, because some of it could be that, you know, with the help, like some people might have aged out of it, and so they're just leaving it there because no one can help them, but I like the idea to have help.
We did that on the letters that went this year. We didn't change the rate. We added a paragraph saying, you know, if the only reason if you need help,
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, moving on, consider short-term loan to the Harbor Commission. I don't know that that's going to be necessary, so I propose we defer that until our next regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to postpone 5B until our next regular meeting.
I'll second. Did you get an answer from them? Did you get an answer from them? If that was in the cash flow analysis? Your answer at the Harbor Commission, you were asking if,
did we get an answer from the Harbor Commission? Remember that my question was, is this a one-time thing, or would we be every year in this time before the summer revenue start ramping up? Will this be a recurring? And I don't remember if we actually got.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the fact is, it is going to be at least until such time as, you know, the revenue accumulates to a point where we don't need, you know, any line of credit right now. You know, the Bremer Bank has extended up to $600,000. You know, and at this point, the town has not put in any additional this year. And, you know, I think, you know, it certainly looks like the Harbor Commission will make it through the month of April, fine. And so then we'll take a look at, you know, when we get to the end of April and see. Hopefully that line of credit, I mean, the plan in the Ehlers study was that each year the amount that we're borrowing seasonally, like April, would go down every year by $50,000 or $100,000. So, you know, I think after like 5 years, we were showing that there was no more need for the line of credit. I should mention, though, I did have communication today with Bremer Bank, and they don't believe that they can beat the Board of Commissioners of Public Lands terms on that $500,000 that the town was going to borrow for our capital projects this year. And so on next meeting's agenda, or if we need a special meeting, to authorize whatever we need to do with the piece. Yeah.
I have it. The
Okay.
whole application.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll just have that either as a special meeting or at our next regular meeting, depending on when their meeting is. I think they have a meeting on the 15th of this month, and then probably in the first week of May. So, okay, moving on, unless anyone had any further questions. Okay, discussion of live streaming committee meetings. This has come up, actually, there was a committee, I guess the Affordable Housing Committee. They had their meeting via Zoom, and it inadvertently was posted to YouTube as a recording, which I guess not all of our committee meetings, I didn't realize, are not put on YouTube. I know the harbor commissions are all recorded and put on YouTube, and all the town board meetings, including special meetings, are. But I think it's a really good idea to have committees, especially committees that are already Zooming, right? I mean, they're already doing the Zoom, just, you know, push that button that accidentally got pushed last time and just, you know, just do it that way.
Exactly.
I mean, the only committee I can think of that I wouldn't, you know, force to have their meetings Zoomed is the Community Awards Committee, because they're going to be, basically, they're talking about who to give the community awards to. And so that's usually something that they've just done, you know.
In secret.
In
They keep
secret.
it secret.
So I think to respect that. So I don't know if we want to, if this needs a motion from the town board.
Just a consensus that all committees should be live streamed.
So I'm really passionate about it because I sat on the board when we decided that we were going to install this equipment that we already have at the emergency building. And so I'm passionate about it because I have attended public hearings for committees before. And then they have their meeting after that I stay for, and they're not Zooming. And so I'm an advocate. We've spent the money, we should choose the money. And I think the constituents have a right, whether they live here year round or they don't live here year round, to be able to see the meetings. And even us as board members, if we are at a funeral or we're somewhere where we can't call in, we're able to not just take out the recorder thing and listen to that. We're able to see the inflections of emotions on people's face. So I think we should for sure do it. I'm 100% persuaded.
Any other thoughts, Mike or Amy?
I agree with Sue and you, and I think that if it's not too much trouble to record them, then record them and let people, they can watch them whenever they want.
Well, and we may get even more participation, and, you know,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's important that we have it where constituents can watch it. Maybe they can't come to the meetings because they're working till 1 a.m. or something. You know?
Right.
Maybe we could syndicate it with the reruns. Okay, I think that's a good consensus that we would like that to be done. And so Alex and Max, if you can let and Dorjeen has said she'd be happy to do it. She didn't think it would be that much extra work. So, all right. Moving on, vouchers.
I will make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $23,288.75.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, minutes. We have a couple sets.
I'll make a motion. Break it down for meeting minutes from March 11th, 2025. And the rest of the town board meeting March 5th, 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, emergency services. I think we have anything there. Public comment B? John?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that it's a great idea to have all the committees on Zoom. And like I've asked the town board a couple of times to watch the affordable housing committee, because what you see in the written minutes versus what you see live, it's a totally different ballgame going on there.
Thank you, John. Any other comments? Okay, anything on liquor licenses, Alex? We should be getting some pretty soon, I would guess.
Next time,
Okay.
May 1.
Lawsuits and legal, I think, did we talk about this at our last meeting, the Ashland County? Okay. Nothing really new from that, and I think they actually have a couple more months to appeal to the appellate court, whoever was on the other side.
It just goes back to tax appeals. The lawyers said they don't have to do any more work. They're already ready, so.
Right.
It's just any.
Nothing new on the sergeant claim. Okay, moving on, new agenda items for future meetings.
We don't. Temporary liquor license for the wilderness reserve. Amending the fee schedule to incorporate the local tariff and charge appeal for repair of grader. And the BCPL loan for 500,000, and then the public works report, monthly report that I'll have distributed.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? I'd like to, we are going to, our TPC vacancy, I think the deadline is like the 17th of April. So we should put that on. And I would like to ask either Max for you to take a look at the ordinance or to have Bryce take a look at it, because my reading of the ordinance only requires that the person on the TPC be a resident. It does not specify that they be an elector or that they be even a full-time resident. And so I know we have one applicant who is a seasonal resident and would like to know whether or not they are eligible before our meeting to approve an appointment. Anybody else? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Glenn.
Okay.
Thanks, Glenn.